different how your approach. How you can proceed with your film.
So they have to open the floor.
I said.
Actually, Mulaleku, we basically work with only women. And we have a lot of reasons why we do this with women because we work with women with a lot of them are minorities like immigrants and all that. We have some little women that are Finnish, but they are really quite few. Because in all our group we have about, altogether we have like 245 people in participants generally, even though we have two different groups, one in Helsinki and the other one in Espoo. And the reason why we actually focus on women, just like Mr. Ike rightly said, that the least, but in Finland here you can see that immigrants there are very little of them or less of them that are doing sport, and somehow I think the background also matters a lot. Like when you talk about religion aspect, most of them like are Muslims. You know, they have like a lot of restrictions and barriers and obstacles because of the religion aspect. And I think somehow they kind of mix it, because seeing you doing sport doesn't mean you're out of the religion or you're against the religion. But sometimes from their orientations and perspective, like individually, they got it wrong. So when they come to this group and they meet different people and they interact and all that, so they got to know that, okay, doing sport actually helped them a lot in so many ways. Like for example, like they meet new people, they have more ideas, they have more kind of more eye-opening. And of course, you know, like in Finland, so to say, they have a lot of them have these language barriers. They have cultural differences, they have differences in sport conditions, fear of being accepted, difference in knowledge, and also, of course, lack of sport backgrounds. So in our group particularly, what we do is that in each, after the sport classes, we have a time for discussions, and we talk about, you know, life generally. We talk about food and nutrition, and, you know, give them more ideas on the reason why you have to do sport. The response you get from different individuals are quite similar. Most of them will say, "Oh, my husband say I shouldn't do this because I'm a woman," and the other one will say, "Because of my religion is against the religion law." I don't know how to put the words, you know. And all this thing for me, if I have to say from my personal background, I think it's totally wrong. And sometimes, you know, when you don't get out of your comfort zone, you feel like you're doing the right thing, but at the end of the day, you find yourself like you're doing yourself no good, and you do yourself a lot of harms. I understand a lot of obstacles in being a Muslim, but when you break the barriers, then you have more eyes opening, and then you can orient other people and tell them more about why you have to do sport. Another day, when you do sport, you see that you get a lot of benefits, a lot of benefits. You know, meeting people, telling them your experience, and after doing the exercise, you ask them how they feel about what they're going to do and all that. So generally, I think it's always good to let people know the importance and the reason why they have to do sport, and of course what they have to eat as well. Because sometimes, you know, we Africans believe, from Nigeria, from Nigeria, we cook a lot of food with a lot of oils and, you know, sugar and blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, it affects our system. And mostly when you don't do sport, you eat a lot of fatty food and you just sit at home or you watch movie and eat popcorn. So in this case, when they have the opportunity or the accessibility to do sport, at the end of the day, they're really very much happy and they really want to do more. And by doing this, you know, they pass the message to other people, tell their friends, and before you know it, everyone are willing to do sport. So I think we just have to create more awareness and keep speaking and keep encouraging them to do sport. So.
My story is quite the same. I have a Muslim background too. I'm not anymore Muslim. My mom came to Finland as it was this how you say uskontojen pakolaisuhri, kind of like victims of the religion kind of group, and she didn't affect our religious views when we were young. She didn't really. We were in the Muslim class, but when I was in the school, I remember in Uganda also, I was very sporty. I used to run all the time. Like they say, like people from Bale are runners or something like that. my village. Yeah, it's yeah. So when I came to Finland, I remember in school I started actually playing football. How I got in touch with actual sport was football at school with like boys and girls, like you know. And in Uganda, that wasn't really possible. Like I just like because my mom, we never wear any hijab or anything, so you don't see a person if they're Muslim or not without the hijab, especially the women. So we start playing, and I remember my school teacher asked me, like, do you want to go in the real team? Like, because I was so, like, I used to go, like, kicking ball all the time by myself. And so I started playing the girls' team. And the funniest part of that, like, till now, I'm 27 years old, but I've never, I've been living in Finland I'm this generation who grew up here. So I never, there wasn't any differences in the, you know, because we train with the boys, we train even now when I do track and field, we still train with the boys. Of course the competition is different, but what I like in Finnish sports, they never like separate kind of like the boys and the girls, because this is my actually, now when I read about Mona Liku and this your thing, I noticed like if I would have come here like a little bit older and still having the Islamic background, maybe I would have been feeling like I have like kind of like restricted to do sports. But my mom never like, I kind of like got the freedom to not to think too much, so I went to the field. And like you, sports has been like something that has driving me there. Like if I fail in some other part, I know I can just put my music on and go jogging and stuff like that. And with the nutrition, everybody who does sports, they don't even feel eating bad. That's the effect of the sports, because mostly when you come from the gym or field or football, you want like fresh food, water, something fresh. You don't really walk to McDonald's right away after training or something like that. So when it comes to healthy living, sports is something that you cannot really live out in any kind. It doesn't have to be like a top athlete, because for me what I do is like my goals is to become a top athlete too, and train most of the top athletes. I'm not really familiar with the area of immigrant women who come here. I don't know, like I'm learning too. This is my first time here, and this is really something that I want to take at my schooling part too, you know. And but I do think that most women, why immigrant women has problems to really get into sports field, is because of the religions, most of it. It's really like, it's not even their decisions. Many things, I've been coaching couple Somalian girls, and it's been really hard for me because in the gyms, there is like women side and then there's men's side. But in track and field, there's no. So those couple of times, like when I sell like my Shisha Sports packages, it includes Pilates, dancing, track and field. It usually depends on the, you know. And then when these Muslim background girls, you know, it affects how they see you. For me, they see me as a black person, so it's easier for them to adapt things. It's not about being normal or anything, it's about because the image is similar. So it's easier to kind of work to somebody who reminds you of themselves.
Who can relate to you.
Yeah, who can relate, thank you. So I've been getting like many like Somalian girls, Muslim girls, they ask, oh Shisha, I want to be like you, or Shisha, I want to do this, or Shisha. And you can see that they do want, but something is holding them back, and you don't want to really go into so deeply in their own personal lives. But most times I have to, like, couple of times I've been training like immigrant women who has like those kind of rules, it usually has stopped after 3-4 times.
Yes.
Because my area is track and field, like, so we have to go to the track and field, we have to run, we have to do those things. There is men in the field, there will be men, so I cannot really say that let's go at this time where there wouldn't be nobody, because it can happen. So it has been, this area has been really, really difficult for me too, to be part of the immigrant women, and that's why I'm like, you've been like, probably it's not easy, it's a struggle, because sometimes you are like, okay, you cannot do this, and you know, and for me it's like,
It's a different experience.
Yeah.
But regarding to you, like especially with women, if you got like a gym, how is it when migrant women comes, or is there like any barriers or anything that prevent them from participating, or do you hear around what can be the reasons, if there is a reason for
Yes,
migrant women to?
I think I just want to add to what both of them said as regards religion. I used to coach B juniors in Grand Kula. They were 14 to 17-year-old boys, and it was quite a very interesting experience for me, that period. And during that time, I had this kid. I think, if I remember correctly, the boy is from one of these Francophone country. I can't really pick people, but he was born here, African Francophone country. So this boy is really good. The boy is really good, but the problem is that every time we have a game on Wednesday, or we have a training on Wednesday or on Sunday, he doesn't come. The mom said he has to go to church. Like on Wednesdays at 5 p.m., we are always practicing at 5, so the kid does not come to the game. He is either at church. So there was one period we had a very big game, and this boy was in a very good form because he was dropped from the A junior to the B junior, but under me he got like inspired again to get back. So he wants to go back to the A junior, and I told him straight to his face that you need to prove yourself here. And he got that. He was scoring so many goals, and this game I needed him because he was the only person I need. And 24 hours to the game, I got a text message from him that sorry coach, I cannot come. I was like, why? He said my mom said I have to go to church. I have to be honest, that was the first time I was really, I come from a religious family myself, but I don't think my dad never put any restriction on me. So that still goes back to the same thing about the parental view, about how we put, like my dad, may he so rest in peace, my dad could almost go broke to get me everything I need for football, everything. Even if the game was on a Sunday, he doesn't care. Nothing. His own is go and just play. You understand? So, but then when I see kids, because I told the mom, I had to speak with the mom. I said, before we got to that point, there was a time the mom withdrew the boy from coming to the training because she refused to pay the registration for the kid for the whole season. And this boy was really sad. And the mom did not see that part, that she did not see that she's taking a chunk of his identity away because of religion. She doesn't see she's trying to create another person in another image for that boy. And taking that, if you take away football from him, I told her that you will live to regret it. So before you make this mistake, you should encourage this boy, because you can see he's passionate about this, and there is nothing bad in playing football. Nothing. Then I ask her a question. Okay, now that you have refused to pay his monthly fees or the season fees, you have placed religion on him. Would you be happy, because he's 16 now? He will soon be 17. Would you be happy seeing him hanging around under the bridge, smoking and drinking energy drinks and getting wasted? Because this is the only thing that has been stopping your kid. So if you take this away from him now, then you should get yourself prepared. So that really hit her, and at some point we ended the conversation there. A few days later, I just saw the boy in the train that, yeah, the mom has paid. So, but then I feel in the point I'm trying to make, that is back to you, is that indeed I've really worked a lot of immigrants from Iraqi women, Pakistan, Somalians, name it. I've worked with so many. Indians are the highest among them. I could say Indians, they embrace sport actually, unlike every other race. Indians they embrace sport a lot, but the problem with other immigrants is the Muslim side, and that is when I've worked with Iraqi ladies, I've worked with Pakistani ladies, I've worked with other women from different Muslim nations, and one thing keeps holding them down, which is the religion. In fact, there was a lady that contacted me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. She wanted to keep fit, lose weight and all that. And I noticed that the Facebook she was using, there was no picture. At first I thought it was a spam message or fake ID. Actually, it was a Facebook account created by a mother, but her husband cannot know.
Yes.
And each time we practice, her husband is not aware about this. And the sad part is she bought a package for 3 months. We worked out for only 4 weeks, and the remaining 6 weeks she said, just send me the program and I will do it on my own. But then I have a problem, I have a principle. I don't send you training program of what I've never taught you.
Exactly.
Because I need to see your technique, I still need to see your movement, you need to
It
do
can
it
be
all right.
dangerous if
And
you
it
just
is dangerous, you
didn't
can get
understand.
yourself injured.
Yeah.
So it is in my own policy.
Mm.
And I had
It's the
no
way
choice.
policy. It's the
I
way
had-
policy.
Yeah, I had no choice but to break my policy, because I didn't want her to pay me for nothing,
Mm.
because she has already paid.
Yeah.
So these things, so religion is by all means the biggest factor. And if you want us to focus on a niche, then it is going to be on the Islamic region. I have worked with other immigrants who are Christians, no disrespect. They don't have restrictions. Only the Muslim side. So
Yeah,
the-
they don't have any more.
and again, they are also attached to their husbands. The only weird or odd part with the Indians is that I have met 3 Indians who said, okay, let me take permission from my husband. Yeah, this is real. Let me take permission from my husband if I can train, and I don't hear from them anymore.
Of course, what do you expect?
So this is something that is really happening. So when we talk about the parent, like he rightly stated, if we are going to fix this problem, we need the kids.
The kids are the future.
The kids are not our focus. Believe me, the parents are the focus, because the parents are the one that is transferring the religion, the cultural values, the beliefs on the kids. So it is our duty now to educate the mind of the parents, because these kids, they want to, because now they are living in a different society compared back home. Back home, in Nigeria myself, Nigeria is a multicultural country, and we have different various religion, Muslim and Christian and other traditional religion. Only places where you have parents who are staunch religious people, they put that restriction. But it was when I began to deal with people that are outside my country, then I got to understand the restriction that is laid on sport. Religion is not alone. Cultural values also restrict sport, and these cultural values are transferred from parents to the kid. For example, my friend was laughing a couple of days ago when I posted a video about myself and my daughter, and he now called me. We were laughing. He was like, "Bro, imagine you doing this with your father." I was like, "Oh man."
Oh yeah, that would be laughing.
Yeah, you understand? Like, no, but the good thing is, my dad. I think my dad was already in the future of his own years. He did not raise us like that real African. Yeah, my dad was more very super flexible.
Yeah.
My dad was this man that even at home, the way we play at home, we play like we are mates.
Yeah.
But there are lines you do not cross.
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
There are lines you know.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with my daughter. When you see us playing, you will not know, you might think we are friends. But herself, she knows there are lines she cannot cross. But I gave her all the freedom. In fact, there are things that I do with her. My friends saw me and my daughter, we are playing on the swing in the park and all that. Then he said that, "Did you ever go to the park with your father?" I was like, "Man, I waited for years."
Like if I have to really summarize some of these things here, I'll have to borrow from my brother here. He just said it the way, the way it is and the way we have found it. And with all the discussions that we have, the issues of religion, culture, the parents, and then finances. These are the major obstacles, that we have regarding women, involving women in sports.
Yeah.
And indeed, it's a general issue because though we are talking about women specifically now, but generally this is the problem we are suffering here. Mostly migrants, and to be specific, the Africans, community here in Finland are the highest culprit when it comes to these things. So, but then in finding solution to these things, I think all we need to do is to make use of this knowledge we have now and the contact we have with each other to start to plan and think, like, how do we influence this kind of thing, positively, to create changes in the future. That should be our next thinking. So on that note, I also like to thank everyone. It's not so easy to make out your time to come and sit down and think for the future of other people.